morning, children. Once again, I welcome you all for this online class. I believe each and every one of you are doing fine at home, and I invite all the 6th standard students to attend this social science class. And today we are moving into session 4 and lesson 2 of history, and the title of our lesson is Human Evolution. In this lesson, we are going to study about origin of human life, stages of human evolution, sources of food for early man, stone tools and weapons, ancient rock paintings, and finally from nomadic to settled life. Moving on to the first topic, origin of human life. Children, we are living in the modern world today. We have all the latest facilities and technologies in our life today. We live in concrete houses. We wear different varieties of modern dresses every day. We eat varieties of delicious and nutritious food every day. But have you ever thought about the lifestyle of human beings that lived on this earth thousands of years ago? Have you ever considered about the beginning of human life on this earth? How life came into existence on this earth? There was a common theory known as evolutionary theory. According to this theory, our earth was not like what we see today. So, around billions of years ago, it was a huge fireball burning continuously. And after billions of years, the earth started to cool down slowly. And finally, after several years, there was rainfall on the earth. And uh, at certain point of time, major portion of our earth was covered with water, which we call today as sea. And inside the sea water, there were numerous non-living chemical substances moving inside the water, sea water. And at a particular point of time, when all these substances moved here and there was a point in which some chemical substances collided, mixed with each other, and finally, the first form of life on this earth was evolved. So, the first form of life was a single celled microorganism. We call them bacteria or prokaryotes, which were formed because of the mixture of non living substances in some manner. So, these single celled microorganisms were invisible, and after several years, they evolved as multi celled microorganisms. So, first, in the beginning, there was only non living chemical substances. After several years, single celled microorganisms were formed. Then, after several years, multi celled microorganisms, multi celled creatures were formed. We call them fishes, turtles, tortoise, frogs, etc. So, after these multi celled creatures came into existence, some of them they went to the land in search of food. So, after eating food, they came back to the sea. And after several years, some of the sea creatures which came to earth, which came to the land, they thought life in land is more comfortable than sea. And finally, they settled in land itself, what we call them as land animals. So, the land animals which we see today, their ancestors belong to the sea water. Their ancestors once upon a time lived in the sea water. So among these land animals, there was a particular group of species, we call them apes. These apes walked with four legs and they lived on the treetops. So among these apes, there were a particular apes which came down from the trees and they walked with two legs. And slowly they started to make tools to hunt food. And slowly, gradually, these apes were transformed into human beings. So, how human beings were evolved? First, there were non living chemical substances colliding with each other, and finally, single celled microorganisms were formed. From those single celled microorganisms, multi celled sea creatures were formed, and from those multi celled sea creatures, land animals came into existence. And from among the land animals, there was a particular species called the apes, and from the apes, from these apes, human beings came into existence through a gradual process of growth. So, what is evolution? It is a process in which humankind changes and develops into an advanced stage of life. And there are a numerous archaeological evidences which gives information about the existence of the prehistoric man and the lifestyle he lived. So, what is archaeology? Archaeology is a study of prehistoric human remained materials used by prehistoric humans. And the major source of the archaeological studies are the excavated material remains. And one of the major archaeological findings, which is the major source of human history, is the human footprint, which has been excavated by the anthropologists in a country named Tanzania in the eastern part of Africa. So, after making research about the footprint using carbon dating method, they found that the footprint belongs to a man who lived around 3.5 million years ago. So, with all these evidences, the anthropologists and archaeologists came up with an idea that the first human being lived in the eastern part of Africa. So, what is anthropology? It is a study of human beings and human evolution. Now, let's move on to the second topic, stages of evolution. So, when the apes from the treetops came down and walked with the two legs, they never instantly converted or changed, transformed into human beings. Like how a newborn baby is not immediately or instantly transformed into a man. There is a gradual process of stages in which a small baby is transformed into a big man. So initially they will move with their four legs. Then they slowly start to speak. Then they slowly walk with two legs. And finally they were transformed into a full grown up human being. In the same manner, there is six major stages of the apes, six major stages of the apes in which these apes were transformed into human beings. And the first stage we call them as Australopithecus, then Homo habilis, then Homo erectus, then Neanderthal man, then Homo sapiens, and finally Cro-Magnons. So at this topic we are going to study about each of these stages of human evolution. And the first one is Australopithecus. At this stage, he is not a complete man. It is a half man and half ape. And he walked with two legs. And the Australopithecus man lived in the eastern part of Africa. Then, after several years, the Australopithecus man was transformed into a stage called as Homo habilis. At this stage, still he was not a complete man. He is half human and half ape. He had big toes and less protruding face. So, what is protruding? It means stretched. You can see the apes, gorillas, and monkeys, they have stretched mouth, isn't it? We call that stretched mouth as protruding. So, look at the picture in your mobile. The face is less protruding, less bulged, less stretched out. He also used tools for hunting animals. Then we move on to the next stage of human life, and this is called Homo erectus. At this stage, the ape was completely transferred into a complete human being, and he started to walk in a straight position, and his knowledge also started to develop gradually. He had the knowledge of fire. Then the next level is the Neanderthal man, and this type of man is different from the previous level which we saw about the African stage. And these type of humans were poor in hunting, and they were resembling the people, resembling the face of Europeans. They buried their deads under the soil. And the next stage of human evolution is Homo sapiens. They were called wise man because their knowledge was developed more, and they used different skills in hunting the animals. And also they migrated from Africa and they settled in different parts of the world. More specifically, they settled in Europe and Asia. And the final stage of human evolution is the Cro-Magnons. He is the modern man. So at this stage, man attained his full human nature which we have today. And he learned to live in the caves. They also buried their dead peoples under the ground. So these are the 6 major stages of human evolution through which the particular apes were transformed into human beings. And now we are going to the third topic, sources of food for early man. So initially, what is the food man had? So initially man lived in the forest. So he could have come across some dead animals on his way, and he could have tasted the meat of the dead animals, and he started to eat the flesh of animals. But not always dead animals come across his way. He has to plan for a way through which he can catch the wild animals and eat their flesh. So the early man followed hunting and food gathering system to have the source of food. So in hunting, the ancient man practiced 2 levels of hunting. The first level is group hunting, in which there were around 30 to 40 men with weapons in their hands. They surround the wild animal, and at the same time, together they attack the prey and they kill it, and they share the meat of the animal. So, this is one way of hunting. And the other way of hunting is Trap hunting. So in this method, they dig a large pit and they cover the pit with dry grasses. And when the prey was trapped inside the pit, they come together and they use their weapons, kill the animal, and they share the flesh. So these are the two important ways of hunting of the ancient man. And during the summer season, prehistoric man, they took the box of the tree and they made it as a cloth and they wore them. And during the winter season, because of the cold climate, they took the skins of the animals and they made clothings and they wore them in the winter season. Now let's move on to the fourth topic, stone tools and weapons. So the early man, when his brain started to grow, when the knowledge started to grow gradually, he started using different tools using his skills. He made different varieties of weapons to hunt the animals. So some of the tools and weapons we are going to study one by one. The first one is the art of flaking. So man hunted large wild animals and they were ferocious and they were very much active. So the prehistoric man, he needs to kill the wild animal instantly. So what happened? He needs sharper tools. So he learned the art of flaking. That is, he took a stone and he took another stone and placed it upon a large stone and he started to tap the stone and make and sharpen it, and he sharpened the edges of the stone, removing the flakes at the edge of the stone, and he made it like a sharp tool. So this type of skill we call it the art of flaking. So the next weapon is invention of fire. Initially man was scared about fire. Whenever there is lightning and thunder in the sky, man started to get scared. But at times, when he came across the dead body of animals stricken by the lightning, when he tasted the flesh of that particular animal, the meat was very soft and tasty. So, with this knowledge, man came to know when the meat of the animals came into contact with the fire, it gives more soft and tasty flesh, tasty meat. So, man started making artificial fire. He used the flint stones to generate fire. We call it Sikimiki Kal. That is the flint stone. When he strike the two stones together, fire started to come. So this is the invention of fire. Then the next tool which the man invented was wheel. So the ancient man, he saw the rocks rolling from top of the mountains and falling down to the valleys. So when he saw the rolling rock pieces, he came to know that anything which is round in shape, they can move faster. And this idea gave him the skill of inventing the wheel. And the invention of wheel is the foremost is the foremost invention of man. Because previously, before inventing wheel, the knowledge developed in the prehistoric man was very slow. He progressed, he developed very slowly. But after inventing wheel, he started to move around. He went to different places, and his knowledge started to grow very fast. And so, scientists say invention of wheel is the foremost invention of human beings. And after inventing the wheel, the early man started to make pot using the potter's wheel. He took some clay, wet clay, and he placed them upon the he placed the wet clay upon the wheel, and he started to rotate the wheel, and he shaped the pots. So these are the tools and weapons used by the ancient man. And the next topic is ancient rock paintings. And when the man was not busy at work, when he is free, life was boring for him, and he wanted to record the daily activities he comes across in his life. So, using some kind of brushes and some kind of dye, man started to paint on the dye. Man started to paint on the walls of the rocks and walls of the caves and on the rocks. He started to paint the daily events of his lives on the rocks. And in India, there are nearly about 750 caves, and among these 750 caves, there were rock paintings in 500 caves, and particularly in Tamil Nadu, in different places of Tamil Nadu, we have several rock paintings which is in our picture. Some of the places are named here in Viluppuram, Madurai, Coimbatore, and in Nilgiris. So these are the some of the places where the rock paintings of ancient man is found. And finally, from nomadic to settled life. So what is mean by nomadic? Nomadic means wandering, moving from one place to another place. So previously, the ancient man, he lived in caves, and when the food materials around that cave get exhausted, he move from that cave and he will settle in the next cave. So previously, the ancient man, he never settled in one place. He stayed in a cave, he lived in a cave, and he hunt the animals surrounding the cave. And after all the animals got exhausted, he will move on to the next cave, and he will live in that cave for few days, few months, or few years. Then he will move to another cave. So this was the lifestyle of ancient man. But from the nomadic life, slowly he started to get settled in one particular place. And in this topic, we are going to study how the wandering man settled in a particular place. So hunting was a hard task for the ancient man. It involved painful procedures. Sometimes the wild animals attacked them, and even some of the species were extinct because of mass hunting. And so, man needed to learn a different way of collecting food other than hunting. And at some particular point of time, when he ate some fruit, he dropped the seeds of the fruit on the ground. And after some days, when he came back and he saw the place where he dropped the seed, he saw a small sapling, sapling sprouted out of the ground. So, with this experience, the ancient man came to know that when you drop the seed under the ground, after a few days it will sprout out, and it will grow into a large tree, and they can bear fruits. He also saw on the banks of river, on the banks of river, in the alluvial soil, in water, plants can grow very fast. So, with all these experiences, man started to practice farming. He learnt agriculture, and the invention of plowshare made agriculture very easy for him. So, the plowshare which man invented helped him more in practicing agriculture. And slowly, the ancient man started to domesticate the oxen. He used oxen for tilting the land. And when man started practicing farming, he needed vessels. He needed vessels to store the crops and other things. So, by using the potter's wheel, he made clay vessels. So, now man started to build houses near the riverside, because near the rivers there is water, and also he can do farming. Finally, he settled near the rivers, and also he domesticated hens, goats, and dogs. And in agriculture, when the produce was numerous and the vessels could not hold the cultivation, could not hold the harvest, man started to build barns and store the crop, stored the crops on the barns, large barns. And then man started to make handicrafts, articles made by hands. He made the toys, and he made musical ornaments and other things using hand. So these are the handicrafts made by the ancient. And finally, the ancient man started to involve in trade and commerce. So when the produce was more, when there was a large amount of crops in the barns, he started exchanging food materials, exchanging fish with grains, exchanging rice with wheat, and man started to make business with others. And slowly, villages started to develop. Other people, the other early man started to stay near the rivers, and they slowly became villages. And the villages slowly developed into towns. And finally, towns were developed into cities. And slowly, when years went past, slowly and gradually, knowledge of man increased. And finally, the life which we have today. So, this is the end of our lesson, children. I hope you are all enjoyed our class today. We'll see you in the next class. Bye.